morning, guys. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadeska, Wayno and Akademiks here. It is Friday.
It's Thursday.
Friday.
Okay. Thursday.
I'm motherfucking tired.
I'm sick.
Oh, first and foremost, we got to start
Tired.
off top by saying, happy birthday to my man Dre. That's our sound guy who's held us down since,
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, Dre.
Actually,
birthday,
I owe him a bottle of Henny. I got him a bottle of Henny. Y'all can see this nigga Wayno has broken the Gucci boycott. Look at
This
you.
is not a Gucci shirt. This is Joe Fresh Goods, okay? Read what it says. Can we
Copyright infringement.
No, can we look at it again? It says, just say diversity and inclusion and they'll forget about it. Shout out to my man Joe Fresh Goods,
Damn,
Chicago.
You didn't think you were going to get him that
You
easy.
probably sending your man up to get sued, man. This says Gucci right underneath it.
Who cares? I mean, listen, he if he gets sued, he lit.
If he gets sued, he lit.
He's fucking lit. If
think the
Gucci sues you,
You think the culture will support him? Why they getting sued?
absolutely they support him, man. Of course. It's good though.
Kodak's going to prison. So,
not good.
Fortunately, according to the Miami Herald, Kodak was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months in prison for federal firearms charges. So these date back to his May arrest in Miami. And prosecutors reportedly actually recommended that the judge give him an 8-year sentence after a recent altercation in prison where a guard was hospitalized because of him. So after this news, his IG account, they posted a photo of him. I mean, Ak, you've had a deep dive on Kodak for a while, sort of him going to prison, coming home, turning things around. How are you feeling about it now?
I agree with the judge. It was all bullshit prior, and meaning that he's gone to jail repeatedly, and I've seen patterns of him saying, hey, he has realized the error of his ways. He's gonna cut off certain niggas around him that's bringing him to problems. He's gonna get more closer to the Lord. We've seen him come out reading Bibles, and we do think that's gonna, continue once he's free. And we see kind of, he falls into the same pitfalls. So when you see that, and that's what the judge kind of scolded him with yesterday, because to be honest, the prosecutor was asking for a lengthy sentence. He wanted 8 years.
He's facing like 20 though.
Yeah, he was facing 10. But the prosecutor was saying, hey, listen, this is a guy who's been in and out of the penal system, and granted it's not federal, but clearly because of who he is, the lawyers he could hire, also people in the judicial system taking pity on him, saying he's just a kid, he came up this way, blah, blah. They give him a lot of really short sentences, and they were saying, no, we gotta show him some tough love, and that's exactly what the judge said. The judge says, hey, listen, you've been making dumb decisions since you're 15. You're 22 now.
But he was still more lenient, right? If it started at 10, they recommended 8, and he only got 3 and 10, and then he might get out a little earlier.
This is, the Fed time, from what I understand, you got to serve 85%. 85. But secondly, this is the longest sentence he's had to serve. The longest before this was a year and some change. So being out for say 3 years and not getting out until 2022 or 2023, again, might not have that much effect on his career, but I wonder if this is the breaking point for him. When he gets out, he's 22 now. When he gets out, he's going to be 25, 26.
Yeah.
And, we look at the maturation of Gucci when he came and he sat here and he was talking about how Fed time kind of really made him reevaluate himself. I wonder if Kodak's going to go through that. I'm not going to lie, the caption that he put up with that picture wasn't the most promising, you know what, I'm gonna be better. It's yo, I'm calling the shots from jail.
He said, hold it down.
Yeah, I'm all right, man. But I am hoping that, for better or for worse, he changes how he acts. And, listen, man, I'd rather he come out and niggas call him a clone than he keep, being real or whatever. And I don't think he's doing it for, really people's perception of him. I just think that's just normally how he is. But he got to break that cycle.
Yeah, I think hopefully this is a wake up call for him. You know what I mean? When we look at kids and glorification and all of that, if you look at Kodak's his rap sheet from the time he's 15 up until what is he? 22?
22.
Right? This is a lot of the shit that gets celebrated in hip hop culture. Oh, he known for doing this, or he do that, or he outside, or he do this, and the third. And when you look at a young man who's a millionaire, look at the decisions he's make, where it leads him to. So what does it really pay? What does it pay forward? I think that he does have a lot of reevaluating to do, but he has to change himself. It's not even the niggas around. I mean, yeah, it is the niggas around, all that, but you got to change yourself first. I mean, when you have a team, people usually follow suit, you know, and if you make a decision that you're gonna be a certain way, then the people around you will be a certain way too if you really love them and you want them around you. So I think, like, you know, this is unfortunate, but I mean, I seen this coming. I didn't think that he was gonna get like 10, but I thought he'd get around like 3 years tops, but he got 4. You know?
I was shocked by him getting locked up. I was shocked by reading all these charges. You know why? Because when he got out and he released the album Testimony, like he spoke on it. It was like, yo, like certain imagery that he had to portray in terms of, you know, bringing the album to light. He was very keen on saying, I don't even want to shoot a video scene where I'm behind bars.
Yeah, right.
So
but around all the time all this stuff was happening with Rolling Loud, are you still shocked now? Because they were already sort of
well at that time we didn't know. Like, I mean,
Mm.
when you get to like even see some of the details of what's going on, and even what like his lawyer said in court, it's a lot of excuse making, right? Like, Kodak's not legally allowed to purchase a firearm,
Right,
or even own one, and you hear in court basically they're saying, well, you know, like like a lot of people have threatened him, this and third. This is what you get security for. Like, you're a millionaire, you're making a lot of money, like, and that's why you see where the judge is like, I can't really, I can't give you that benefit of the doubt no more because you know who you are, the position you have, and you know how much money you're making. And if you really value that, you wouldn't be making some of these dumbass decisions.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie though, you know, it's another thing too, like being in the hood and doing hood shit is like an addiction as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of artists, like, they get a certain type of itch because they're used to living like that for so long. Like, remember when 50, in the beginning of his career, the people used to say, yo, you rich, why you acting like that? He's like, I was poor longer than I've been rich. So it's like, you want me to change overnight? I'm not just gonna change overnight. So I think it's like, you know, possibly getting out of that environment. Wasn't we calling them Calabasas Kodak or some shit? That's the thing. It's like a lot of artists. Suburban Kodak. Nah, but a lot of artists, they'll get a house and like, yeah, they can't be, they're in a whole new environment. They don't know anybody there. They don't know how to have fun. So what are they naturally gonna do? Go back to the place that they're from. And when you go back to these places that you're from, you see these type of results. So I think, like, he first got to change who he is before he changes his crew or anything, change his mindset. And I mean, hopefully in 4 years he have his shit together. He's only gonna be 26. Like, he'll be fine as far as.
Yeah, but you don't waste your 20s in a fucking.
Bro, it's not about wasting. I'm just saying it's like what's done is done. We can't reverse that. Like, he's already wasted it. I'm just saying it's like by the time he comes back, he still has time. He's only 26 years old. Like, Sean went to jail at fucking 20, came back at 30. Like, you know what I mean? Did 10 years, dropped the album at 20, he came back. It was 10 years later. At least he has some time, you know, when he comes back.
It's listen, what's done is done, but it's only beneficial, or at least it's only a lesson you've learned from if you don't repeat those mistakes. You know, like, I was so supremely troubled when, you know, when he was free, like when, you know, rappers get into it, he would constantly say like, yo, some of these rappers scared of jail. I go to jail right now. I'm like, I don't think that's the thing that people wanted to sign up for. You know,
jail
like,
is home for a lot of people, bro.
And the thing is, you know, fans and stuff might be like, yo, that's a real one, but
nah, that shit ain't real. It's not, but I think that's the larger conversation of, like, even back to all of this jail reform shit, because jail institutionalizes people. One of my friends one time, he told me, like, yo, I'm about to go back to jail because I can't take living in society. Like, he
it's
said
hard
this
to
to me.
adjust once you come out, because they don't try to rehabilitate you at all. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the thinking about that? Because jail is so restrictive, like someone's controlling.
Yeah, but
like,
think about it. If you spend like a decade there, 15 years, it's hard just sort of coming home and trying to readjust, right?
Right.
And especially if you have a record, it's hard to get jobs, all that stuff. There's a lot of hurdles.
My friend, we're the same. I'm 36. He's probably 36 too, right? But since he was 12, he was going in and out of jail. Like, he come home for like a year, two. Like, first it started out as like a few months, and then he would come back, and then he'd get locked up for another year. And this is from time we 13 years old to 36, and then he started doing lengthy bids. He spent more time behind bars than he spent outside. So he was just saying, like, you know, he came home.
He really didn't have much going on out here. So.
Nah, I mean, he got a mom and all that, but it's like he institutionalized. He really don't know how to deal with people or deal with the outside world. So, like, he said to me one day, like, yo, I can't take, it's too much pressure being free, because at least in jail, he like, I know how to live in jail. I don't know how to live outside, and that's fucked up, but it's like, this shit happens, you know what I mean? And I think, like, that's part of what Kodak goes through. Like, he's been going to getting locked up and getting in trouble since he's 15, right? And I'm not making no excuses for him, you know, but if you've been going in and out of jail since you're 15, that's why he's saying shit like that. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about going back, because he know how to bid. Like, he knows how to live in jail. But think about this. He's been in and out of jail longer than he's been a millionaire. So it's like, we would like to think that money fixes all problems, but it doesn't fix internal or trauma issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people, they don't know how to live out here, you know, and that's fucked up, but, you know, hopefully he could change his life around.
Yeah.
Praying for him.
Unfortunate, man. What is that movie, Wayno? You always know the movie references. Is it The Green Mile? There's like one of them where, you know, one of the prisoners gets out and he's having a hard time.
Shawshank Redemption?
Shawshank, yeah.
Nadeska,
Why did I think it was a
don't
Green
do that
Mile?
again. You know you don't know. You don't watch the
Sorry,
movie.
I know
No,
it was one
Shawshank
of
Redemption,
those-
they showed a
Is
guy
it that?
who, one of the inmates, like, he got a job and everything, he killed himself.
Right.
'Cause
Sorry,
he
I had the
cou-
wrong movie, but yeah, he was just having a really hard time adjusting to life. Fuck you, academics.
The only prison movie I seen. What's that movie with like all them stars? What's it called? Life or something like that? With it all.
That's a comedy, man.
Okay, now
That's a comedy?
That's a comedy.
you're making
Life
fun
is
of my
life, I mean,
movie
life is a
reference
comedy.
and now here. All right, man. You know what?
Ain't
But
jail,
Shawshank
ain't nothing
Redemption
funny
is the
about
movie.
jail.
Thank you,
Shawshank
Wayno.
Redemption.
Thank you, Wayno. I get such a hater sometimes. So Dave East recently did an interview with Real 92.3 and explained why he decided to remove Kodak from one of the features on his album. He said it was out of respect for Nipsey. Take a look.
You know, free Kodak. I'm gonna go ahead and say that first and foremost. But I'm a loyal dude, and at the end of the day, like, you know, me and Nip was close. Like, you know what I mean, beyond rap. I can't have a record on my album called "The Marathon Continues." You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna have a joint with somebody that I know, you know, spoke in a negative light after his death. I ain't respect it. Couldn't do it. That's just me, and I don't care if it would have went #1 for the next 5 years. Like, I couldn't do it.
So this was before Kodak got locked up. Of course, he made some comments about Lauren London that really, really upset a lot of people. But obviously, Dave East took this very seriously because, of course, people forget things quickly. You guys respect his decision?
Academic?
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna surface. I'm surface diving here, so I probably shouldn't dive in.
Surface diving.
Yeah, no. I'm looking at it on the like again. He has. I'm guessing they did a song together, right? Then after he sees what's going on, they didn't put the song on the record. I'm just thinking, if you weren't gonna put it on the record, why even speak on it, right? So I do have to say I have to salute Dave East because, you know, I had no idea him and Nip were that close, but I've seen things over time that, you know, I probably like, you know, I didn't catch on to while Nip was alive. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Now, I do believe it's a little bit PR to let people know, like, yo, I'm holding him down. But I understand if you disrespected a guy who I'm really close with, and I feel it's so disrespectful that I don't want to put you on my album. I understand that. I understand that.
I just think the timing is very convenient. That's all.
To talk about it?
Yeah, the time is very convenient.
Okay, right.
No.
All right. Some more controversy. So we haven't talked about Jay and his NFL deal recently. We haven't heard any more details, but of course a lot of people were outraged. They felt like he didn't try to help out Colin Kaepernick. But now, so Kaepernick hasn't played an NFL game in 3 years, but he does have a workout scheduled for this Saturday. So on Wednesday, NFL reporter Ian Rappaport said that Jay allegedly had a part in getting Kaepernick this workout, but he said it was not included in the settlement that he made it with the NFL back in February. But I mean, and of course you guys weigh in sports, not my area of expertise. People are saying this sounds kind of suspect just because of the logistics of it. So according to Forbes, the NFL didn't even tell Kaepernick or any teams about the workout until this Tuesday. He reportedly had only 2 hours to agree to it and had to be done on a Saturday. So during the season, workouts are normally scheduled on Tuesdays. Teams and coaches are traveling to prep for games. So do you guys feel like this is a sincere gesture or kind of sus?
Honestly, all right, so look, I want to ask like all the viewers and everything, please, you're welcome to my mentions because I want to know what the people think. Because I'm just very confused as to what the NFL means in hip hop culture at this point. You know, when the whole Jay thing happened with the NFL, it was like, oh, he's a snake. You know, we don't fuck with the NFL. Then, you know, me and Ak, we always make our jokes about niggas is still partying that whole weekend, celebrating, etc. when your team wins, whatever. And then it's like, stand with Cap. I don't know what people stand in Cap. I mean, I know what people are standing with Cap for, but I didn't know if the goal was to just get him, you know, for him to get back into the NFL or for him to just shed light on, you know, racist behavior within organizations. So I really don't know where it's at with this because for everything that I've seen, I thought that Cap didn't want to play in the NFL. I thought that it was to kind of denounce the NFL in totality. And I mean, while I'm happy that he does get an opportunity because he's a very talented guy, I just don't understand what this means.
Right. I mean, so when the Jay thing had happened, right, and people were like really pissed. Remember, he posted that video that he's been sort of working out. So it seems like he still wants to play. But in terms of this workout schedule again, I don't know about the NFL that much, but I don't know. Does it sound weird to you guys forcing him, giving him last minute notice, 2 hours to accept it if all of those things are true?
To quote one of the GOATs.
Oh boy.
Here it comes. What you about to say? What you about to say, man?
Politics as usual.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. This whole thing, I've started to, this is a great test, like, case scenario that showcases that people will disguise their agendas and act like they're doing it for the people, but everybody does it for themselves. Everybody. Kaepernick, JayZ, the NFL. Others too. Those are the people who you say, fuck the NFL, but Super Bowl party.
Right.
You get me? And I look at this and I'm like, I look at all parties, I'm like, this is interesting. You get me? Again, I know we're hearing that JayZ was influential here, but truth be told, at least we heard from Ian Rappaport, and by the way, he's a very credible journalist from ESPN, but still, Jay did partner with the NFL for social justice, this and third. Then I see the niggas sell shirts. To me, that wasn't an actionable item. So I looked at that to say, I still think that's more of a power move for Jay than a move of making change.
Okay.
I look at it for the NFL, they got to pacify these niggas because you know why? They're costing the bottom line. They're fucking up the money. So however you can get shit cool, you got to get shit cool. Then I look at it for Kaepernick. And while, you know, like the whole stand with Cap thing has happened, I've also looked at it to say, man, Cap, you got a $10 million settlement, right? Cool. You've still maintained that is independent and it shouldn't really be held against you if you do want to play in the NFL because the settlement was supposed to be because they kept you out of the league. So if you did get back in the league, shouldn't matter if you got that money. Cool. I agree with that.
Okay.
However, you see the NFL, who again, they're only caring about their interests. They're leaking this shit to the media. They're releasing, oh, we're doing, by the way, this is an NFL-held workout. This ain't a private team. Usually during the season, if a team wants to work out a unrestricted free agent, yo, Wayno, come in. We gonna work you out. Usually it's done on Tuesdays. This is done on Saturday. This is a NFL thing. There's about like 8 to 12 teams that are coming to this thing. So it's already out of the ordinary. But when you look at how the NFL is doing it, they're just trying to make it, I think they're doing a PR move, but I also see how they're putting out information to the media. And this is why I say, even if Kaepernick wants to get back in the league, I'm wondering why he doesn't say, nah, I ain't doing this. I ain't even gonna come into the workout. Because I hear Stephen A. Smith on ESPN say, yo, unless Kaepernick at the workout throws the ball into the stands, which he won't. He's a quarterback that is definitely serviceable. Unless he throws into the stands, he'll probably have an offer from a team and could be on an NFL roster this year. But then there's a caveat to it. He got to shut the fuck up. That's the win for the NFL, right? You gave him the $10 million. You thought people were gonna, like, on a PR level to say, wait, I thought you was fighting for all this. How you take the money? But it went across the board. You took the money. Cool, you can still fight for it. Now, if you take the job with the caveat of you got to shut the fuck up, not that he was speaking at all, because what have you heard Kaepernick say? Nothing, right? But shut the fuck up to me means you ain't kneeling no more. All that shit you claim you were standing for, that's over. If I'm Cap, why? I'm not. By the way, the what he would get signed for is a veteran minimum, $800,000. He got $10 million already. So you really care to be back in the league that much to shut the fuck up if you've sat out for this long for your cause?
Yeah.
So then I wonder what Kaepernick is thinking and where his team. You know, I don't know how his situation works. I just feel like when you look at this situation, it's the perfect situation to see how everybody's interest everybody's protecting their own interest. I think the NFL kind of defends the JayZ move to say Jay had input in this. Also takes the onus off them. They also defend the teams to say this is not a team workout. It's an NFL workout, which is not usual. And then now it's on Kaepernick.
Right.
So he has a choice to make. Do you, if you say no, I'm not gonna do it. Some people might look like, yo, I thought this was to get back in the league. They're trying to get you. They're setting up a workout to get you back in the league. Mm-hmm. But you have to shut the fuck up. Again, it's super complicated, but this is such a PR move on every level for everybody involved. I think the next move is on Kaepernick. What are you gonna do Saturday? Are you gonna show up? Yeah. And if you show up and you perform well and you're offered a contract, if you do decide to sign, that is essentially saying you're gonna shut the fuck up and let business go on as usual.
Are workouts private, like closed, like only the NFL teams are there, and then do they give reports on them? Like how much do you find out?
I think they do. They do give press certain access. Like I think press has certain access. But like honestly, I think at this point it's so cool for everybody to say what they think about Kaepernick. I hope he gets an opportunity so I can hear him say something. You know what I mean? I want to hear.
You think
something.
he'll talk?
I mean, I don't think that he's gonna go in depth to like what we may want, everything what we want to hear. But he got to say something. Like you can't stay quiet this long, and I wouldn't say cause a disruption, because what he did was he built a very, very great conversation for a great cause when it comes to police brutality and all types of other things. But I want to hear the man talk. You know what I mean? Like it's cool for me to speculate and everybody else too, but I can't speak for him. I would love to hear what he got to say, even if it's not about shutting the fuck up about all of that, but at least something of what he feels of anything that's going on. I don't really know much, so.
And I also start to wonder about like this workout and whatever. Like, keep in mind, if people were following Colin Kaepernick's career as he was exiting the NFL, he had job offers. But the job offers, in his opinion, were beneath him in terms of he still felt he was a starting quarterback. I don't think he's going to these workouts and they're trying to get a starter on a Saturday. You get me? So if he's going to the workout, and even if a team says, yo, Colin, we fuck with you, we're going to offer you the veteran minimum, $800,000. You're going on the bench. You could have been done this shit way back then.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm telling you, they were offering, you got to remember.
I remember he did get some sort of interest at one point or another, but I believe that he turned it down, or it was not that he turned it down. He wanted certain stipulations to, if he was to meet with a team or something like that. I could be wrong, but I remember hearing something like that.
This is where Marcellus Wiley, in his like assessment, he has a theory. Dude.
Yeah.
This is where he is right. Like, when he was in contract negotiations with the team, the last team he was with, like, he was maintaining that he was a starter, while other people evaluation of his talent that maybe he wasn't. Right? So I'm saying is that, like, he had job offers at that point, right? He just was saying,
but not for starting positions.
Exactly, right? Down. And at that point, I think with of course seeing how his actions was changing shit, people were saying, you know, matter of fact, yo, you're more problematic than we even want to have on our team. And now that it's like it's almost like a group holdout of not giving this guy a chance at all. So to see him now, if he goes and he's like a second, third string quarterback, and he has to shut the fuck up, I think that defeats the whole purpose. I think the NFL that's checkmate. Checkmate. You bring JayZ in. You give this guy a chance, tell him to shut the fuck up. You put him on the bench somewhere. No more kneeling. Probably don't put a camera on that motherfucker. We gonna get past this. Pizza Hut, get back up in your.
Could you imagine Colin Kaepernick being in the NFL and not being the biggest story until the Super Bowl? Like, it would be the biggest thing.
Well, what's today? Thursday? It's happening Saturday. We'll talk about this on Monday, I am sure. In the meantime, how about we talk about some music? So this week in hip-hop, one of my favorite mixtapes of all time dropped. J. Cole released Friday Night Lights, November 12, 2010. That was his third tape, 20 songs, some great features on here. People like Wale, Drake, and more. Production by Cole himself, Kanye, and more. So this is a follow-up to The Warm-Up, another great tape. And I didn't know this. He actually won an award for this. Best Mixtape at the 2011 BET Hip Hop Awards. I don't remember that. Did you guys enjoy this project when it dropped?
Yes. Shouts out to Dat Piff, yo. This was platinum on Dat Piff. Like, remember when Dat Piff used to give out the awards? Like, I mean, this
I
is
think
the
I
only...
still have it just for this.
Yeah, I think like that's the only place you can really listen to
Yeah.
it too. Because I tried to go on Apple Music, like.
Wait, he didn't put this on Apple?
Not yet.
Nah.
Oh, you gotta put this on.
It might come,
DSPs.
but I feel like it's a process trying to get all this clear. But it
Yeah.
has to. This and the warm-up have to come on streaming services.
It's definitely a process. I mean, like, yo, this was the one that let me know that Cole was really, really serious. I mean, for me, it was like kind of up in the air up until this point, but like this was, when I heard this, I was like, oh nah, he's here to stay. You know what I mean? Like, cause he just displayed a lyrical ability that nobody was like fucking with. Like at this time, we getting like A$AP Rocky is a new artist. There's a lot of new artists coming out, but they not so much centered on lyrics. That was that whole time where everybody's like, oh, lyrics is dead and this and the third. You get him, you get Kendrick with this.
That was the conversation at the time?
Not
So we're
for
going in
him.
cycles. No, the lyrics are dead. We're back here again.
Yeah.
Okay.
People were saying that lyrics is dead and this is that and the third. I mean, people say that lyrics is dead every year. Like I swear, people always say, oh, nah, no nobody want to hear that shit. But the most successful artists are the lyrical artists are the artists that can rap, even down to Drake. I think like, you know, why people, even myself, give Drake flack for doing a lot of R&B, he can still rap his ass off. And when you look at him, Kendrick, Cole, I mean, only one who doesn't emphasize too much on is maybe Travis Scott, but I think Travis got those clever bars in there. Those are the most successful artists, but this mixtape was like one of the best. Like, this is a classic.
Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
classic.
the impact of him dropping this, like at this point, I'm still thinking like he's still underground to me.
Yeah. I felt like that too.
But I was more. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I was no Nadeska. I'm definitely not like, oh shit. Like I of course acknowledge that it was a dope project.
Yeah.
But I was more impressed that like he was fucking touring all the colleges off this shit. Like he was really moving around, and to see how he was moving around, and also him sparring with a lot of his peers at the time, which I think in general we weren't really excited about any. That's really like almost the last class of hip hop. I know we have freshman class every year, but the last class of hip hop where we're like, yo, who's gonna be like the star? It's like I don't know how to compare
It was him,
NBA.
but
like
that's
NBA
the freshman
like
class.
draft class. Type
But no,
shit.
that double XL freshman class was him, Nipsey, Big Sean, Wiz Khalifa. I mean, I remember.
Wally on that one?
No, Wally wasn't on that one. Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, J-Rock.
The cover?
Fucking, yeah, J-Rock is on there. OJ the Juice Man is on there. That kid Donis was on there too. There's a few people. It was a good class. It was definitely a good class.
But it was so dope. I think the only question after this was like, yo, you know, I think this is around when people were still talking about him with the J. Cosign and like them doing some shit together. And honestly, after this is like the sky's the ceiling. But I didn't think he was gonna be as big as he is now. Honestly.
The real fans knew though.
I will say this, and we talked about albums and this, that, and the third.
You thought some of Nadeska?
What?
What?
You thought it was gonna be as big as he is now?
Yeah, yo, I told you guys, if I'm putting like journalist Nadeska aside, the way you feel about Drake, like how deeply and passionately you love him. Cole
You
was
ain't gotta say it like that now.
No, this shit is like a
deeply passionately
little
do love
creepy.
Drake.
This shit's like a
You
little
do.
creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
No,
no.
Cole was always, he's the rapper, he's my guy. He's
But-
the one I bet on.
This mixtape, to me, was better than his first album. You ain't gotta say it. I'ma say it. I will say it. This mixtape, like when I heard this, I was like, oh, this nigga album is gonna be out of here.
I know.
And while his album was good, it wasn't this. But I think it's also two different points in time.
Yeah,
so.
one day Jay's gotta talk to us about Mr. Nice Watch and what he was thinking with that one, man. I was so salty when this shit came out.
What's the problem?
Mr. Nice
Really?
Watch.
It's a cosign.
That's like
it.
one of the worst JayZ features ever.
Period.
Listen, man. Mailed it in on him, man. What's the problem?
He deserved
problem?
better. After putting out this, he deserved a
Yeah.
much better feature for his debut.
What's your favorite record off of this?
Yo, which? It's definitely for me. It's definitely one with Drake.
Stop. Stop.
In the morning can't be your favorite record.
It's
on
a good
this.
Record. This cannot be your favorite song on here.
That can't be your
You're
favorite
so-
record. In the morning is your
Yo,
favorite
listen.
record. You a fucking hype beast on the music tip.
Yo, he
Bro,
just
yeah, that's
loves
ridiculous,
Drake so
bro.
much. It's sick.
That's crazy.
sick.
That's
All right,
crazy.
man.
No, my favorite record is Enchanted with Omen. Like that's my favorite joint off of there. Like that's the one where like you know how some days you could go listen to it and by the time you get to your favorite record you just stay stuck on that.
Yeah.
That's my record on it.
Yo, it's hard for me to pick. The intro is amazing. It cost me a lot.
Too deep for the
Premeditated murder.
intro.
Too deep for... Looking for Trouble. I forgot they added this as a
Looking for
bonus.
Trouble,
I
yes,
can't. I
yes,
love this
yes.
project too much. I can't do it.
Premeditated Murder.
If I had to pick outside of that, I'd pick that,
no one
the
cares
freestyle joint
anymore.
up there, or I'd
Lights,
probably do,
Please.
Looking for trouble. Probably, but I'm telling you, man, I like
Illmatic
records,
was
man.
also
Like,
dope.
I be liking niggas just rapping all day. Nigga.
Yeah, but this is not
man.
like Cole rapping to make your head hurt. The beats are also great. Whatever,
Tripping,
academics.
man.
Shall we
It's
move
academics,
on?
y'all, what y'all expect?
No.
He's, of course,
Y'all
gonna
ain't
pick
have
the
me
trick.
looking like a Cole hater. I fuck with that project. I'm just saying.
Right.
What were you listening to in 2010? We definitely are on
Beanie
opposite
Man.
spectrums of the musical taste.
No. Stop it.
What?
2010, nothing matters other than the GOAT dropping that year. Well, one of the GOATs.
What?
Kanye was dropping My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Okay.
I was listening to, like, everything was subpar to me. It was like mid. It was like
Seriously,
Reggie.
there wasn't
It was a
space in your
bunch
life
of-
to listen to both of
No, it
these?
was Reggie's. Yo, Kanye brought music. I've never seen hip hop being elevated. When you start bringing the orchestras and the fucking flutes, my nigga, and you start really taking music production to a next level,
I hate
like
you.
these niggas was just speeding up
Rick
samples.
Ross had this shit in the headlock around that time.
Okay.
Ashes to
Okay.
Ashes mixtape
Okay.
around that time. You know what I mean? Like Rick Ross had shit in the headlock. 2010.
What's that? You're right.
All right, so we're waiting for Cole to put those projects on streaming. In the meantime, today's fast break artist is Jack Harlow, 21 years old from Kentucky. Actually started rapping at the age of 12 and released his first project when he was in high school. So in October 2017, he released his breakthrough hit, Dark Night. That became the lead single on his mixtape, Gazebo, released in the same year. Then August 2018, he signed with Atlantic Records under Generation Now, dropped his first major label mixtape called Loose, and very recently, September, a couple months ago, released his fifth tape called Confetti, features some people like Bryson Tiller and more. What do you guys think about Jack Harlow?
So like Jack, like the first time I saw him was of course Dark Knight, because like when the video came out, it kind of looked like it kind of looked like a viral like type moment. Like it not that it was not about it being a music video, but it just was getting shared so much because it was this white boy rapping to this dope ass beat, right? What I like about Jack Harlow is it's really hard to come from under that Lil Uzi shadow being on Generation Now. You know what I mean? And I think he kind of Uzi set the standard of what music would be for Generation Now. And I think that Jack has his own space. You know what I mean? He has his own space. He can rap. I mean, I ain't gonna front. He does, that's my dog, but he does look like he works at the Geek Squad at Best Buy. Nah, real shit.
Not
but
even the Genius Bar?
Is that
Apple?
what it's called?
No, that's
Genius
Brian
Bar?
Apple.
Right, exactly. But
Look at you with your little plug.
I like Jack though. I like Jack. I think that that Jack has a wave of his own, and he's been selling out a tour this whole year. I think that he's gonna be a candidate for like a XXL freshman by next year. You know, because like I said, being in the whole Generation Now, we all seeing how this year has been for them, and for him to be able to shine on his own is really big.
Yeah, definitely find if he's opening for Vince Staples and Portugal the Man. I know you don't know who that is. That's definitely some variety. It's not rap.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, that's a big looking.
No. That means he's.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. This might be the first like fast break. I'm not sold on him yet.
Okay.
I've heard a handful of music. Not fully sold on him. Like me, I always do like this balancing act of where I feel like, so it's me checking out the music and also the energy I'm seeing from just like the movement of whatever they're going on with. And I don't know if his energy is at that point. Like I feel a little, I won't call it a label push. Like I feel like it's a little bit forced.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta go to a show then.
I might have to.
You gotta go to a
because
show.
honestly, like I'm like I've never heard nobody talk about him.
You gotta go to a show. I think. I mean,
Like,
Go ahead,
like
go
I've
ahead.
almost like. Of course, we know Generation Now, the Uzi thing, but it's kind of like I'm like, I don't know how like his wave has been pushed recently because I can't even name a record that I'm like, yo, that's the one that's doing it.
I'll say, well, before you get like, if you give it a shot, I say go back to Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight is like the first time I ever heard him, and I think like that kind of set the tone for the music that he makes. Especially, you got a white boy coming from Kentucky. What do you think that's gonna sound like? Nothing of, like when you hear his music, nothing of what you could kind of perceive having those parameters of who he is and where he's from. So I think like just give it a shot. And we gotta go to a show before this year's out. Can we go to a show together?
One team show. What's left though?
Wait,
Yes, we
I
gotta
don't know if
figure
it's
it
this
out.
show because this man show's here. Anyway, I will say, and maybe you see, with giving that opinion, I want to also admit my biases. I think with Uzi or whatever, and like I think I look at him a little bit more critical because I'm like,
Yeah, I get that.
all right,
Well,
You're
You know,
comparing him to Uzi because
No,
of the
not
local thing?
comparing him
But
to
they coming
Uzi,
from the same
but
camp,
They're
so I
coming
get-
from the same camp, and now I'm looking. No, it's not like I'm saying, oh, Uzi's this, so you have to be this. Like, because of Uzi's history with that camp, I now look at him and say, all right, cool, what's up?
Well, you know what
You get
that
me?
makes me think of? Back to the last artist we was talking about with Cole. It's like, remember, Cole was the first artist like on Roc Nation as far as the label. And I think a lot of people, because of Rockefeller and like Beanie Siegel, everybody's like, what the fuck is this? This nigga rapping about school, he ain't rapping about streets. A lot of people didn't give Cole a shot initially because JayZ's artists was always guys from the streets and they always had a certain type of tone, a certain type of, way they delivered. So I think like, that's cool because they are coming from the same camp, but he has his own wave. You know what I mean? They also got another dude, Cedi Hendrix, that's dope. I think that they kind of reconfiguring what they doing with Generation Now, but like, give Jack Harlow a shot. He's dope.
Okay.
I'll check out some more stuff.
Check him out. Fast break artists. Yeah. All right, a couple quick stories to wrap up. So Rick Ross was on IG story this week, recorded himself listening to Hate It or Love It. And while the song is playing, he asked him to run it back so he could listen to 50's verse again. Check it out.
Yeah, that shit was hard. That nigga mama was a bulldog. Coming up over my mama kissing the girl. You gotta back that up. That shit was hard right there. Hey, that was that nigga best verse. I ain't gonna lie.
You guys think it was his best verse?
Absolutely not. That's not Rick, bro.
Man.
Yeah, I think is part trolling, part showing some love a little bit.
Part trolling.
It
part
is. It's
showing
definitely
some
trolling.
love.
It's definitely a little bit trolling on Ross's part. But of course, that's one of 50's dopest verses, but it's not his best verse.
Okay.
Listen, man, Ross be with the shits too. You start playing with 50 honestly, man, listen, it's weird. It's weird when hip hop beats get to him mentioning 50's mom is not just random. Like, keep in mind back in the day when they were really going at it, 50 was around his sons and all that type of stuff and baby mom. So it gets a little personal. I do think, if these men weren't at it and haven't been at it for like a decade now, like, I do think that Ross would have Ross to me is like a hip hop historian. I think he would have a great appreciation for the G Unit era and songs like this. So I do think he likes the song. He knows all the words. I just think that he's kind of playing certain parts and kind of reacting to it to troll 50. It's super unfortunate, but these two men will never be cool.
Nah, I don't say never.
So we're not gonna, 50 Instagram got deactivated. We ain't gonna say nothing about that. They took his 50. Is it?
He deactivated his own shit, man.
You think he
He's just taking a
deactivated
break?
his own-
Bruh. No, he didn't. No, 50 goes between Instagram, Twitter, but he's trolling somebody. I just can't, I don't watch Power, and don't kill me, I just don't watch it. Because I'm like way too far back, so I'm like, y'all niggas be issuing spoilers every week, and I'm like way back, fuck it. Anyway, I don't know why he keeps trolling like this actor that's on it.
Notori, no,
Yeah, like I guess she don't got no edges or something. I'm like, yo, 50, she's on your show, bro.
They're beefing, really?
No, I don't think they're beefing, but like he's
Some
definitely
friendly
having
jokes or
some fun
something?
at her expense.
Yeah.
I don't think she's not a rapper though, so she might feel away.
He's a singer, former singer.
Okay.
He is, man. He's a former singer.
After all the controversy this year with Old Town Road not being country, or maybe being country, it won a Country Music Award yesterday. So Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus took this one home. But it wasn't like Song of the Year or anything like that. It was called Musical Event of the Year. Should we add that to our Everyday Struggle Awards?
No.
The Musical Event of the Year?
So the event is a song.
Sure.
Where'd that go?
Song was eventful.
Yeah, hey, salute to Lil Nas X, man. A lot of people called him whack. You know what I mean? That man is doing what he's supposed to do with his record. And you can't front on Panini. Panini's not a bad record either. So
Shout
salute to
out
Lil
to
Nas
Day
X.
Trip.
Hey, I'm gonna just be honest. I don't have too much of a deep. I don't want to do. I have a deep dive on it.
Why don't you surface dive then?
No, musical event. That's almost like saying moment. And when you see they're talking about the moment when he links up with Billy Ray Cyrus, they ain't rewarding that nigga at all. It's like, we reward your fake ass for linking up with a real nigga. So that's it. So really, they're not even giving his song the award. They're not giving him. They're just saying, thank you for linking up with one of the greats over
of
here.
our own.
So I'm just saying, but you know what? He was happy, so I'm not going to ruin the happiness with super, deep dive take. So it's all good.
All right.
This next clip is like the way Akademiks looks at Drake. So here's a security
Stop
guard willing to risk it all for Megan Thee Stallion at a concert.
Yeah, that's how Akademiks looks at. Tinashe.
That is facts.
That is
well,
facts.
She was at Complex Con, he didn't run down.
You're a pussy.
didn't see
You're
her.
never gonna do
No, I didn't
it.
see her.
Nah, I'm sick of
see
your
her.
excuses.
I didn't see her. Like,
Yo, if you
trust
asked
me.
for my help, I would help you out. I'm here
I was
for
at the
this.
Mountain Dew booth. I was like, do my thing. I heard she walked by it. Niggas
Yeah,
gonna tell me
I get it.
afterwards.
It's been
Y'all
like-
should've shouted out my name.
Nah,
instantly.
it's been like 3 years.
I will say, man, Moneybagg Yo gotta holler at him. Are they together still?
I don't know. You're the gossip queen.
I don't know about that. I ain't the shader.
Chat queen.
Nah, listen, man.
Chat queen. That should be
Nah.
your next song. Like, remember, you should just do Trap
Yeah,
Queen over, do
get your
Chat
Fetty
Queen.
on.
Yeah, if it just like dropped, I would. I mean, dope
Do that,
song.
rehash that.
But I can understand from what I've heard
Mm-hmm.
from people who have seen Meg Thee Stallion perform, or just in person, like it's mesmerizing. So
Hey, man, she's
Looks
fine.
mesmerizing.
Megan Thee Stallion is a fine woman, man.
And she's super cool. Shout out to Meg. That is our show for today, unless you guys have any final thoughts.
I'll see y'all on Monday, man.
All right. You guys have a great weekend. Send us some fan questions. We're on Twitter at EverydayShrug with
What
two
album
Gs.
drops today?
No.